Going live. This Hangout is on air, blah, blah. I don't know what that says. Hey, this is Johnny Bean, and I'm doing a Google Hangout today with who's here?
Dave Nesdall.
Jeremy Hefner.
Hey, you guys have guitars. What's going on? Do you guys play guitar?
Nope.
A little bit. I actually play cello.
Huh.
Nice.
Greg, do you guys know Greg Renoff?
No.
He's the guy doing that book. You know that new Van Halen book that's coming out about the club years?
I just heard about that.
You guys know like he just tagged me in a photo just now.
Really? What photo is it?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a Van Halen photo.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh no, yeah. He's here's a plug for his book. Yeah, he's writing a book that's coming out. It's going to be a huge book on Van Halen's early years. He got to interview like Michael Anthony and who else? A bunch of the early guys. It's all early stuff. Anyway, he just tagged me in a picture. But hey again, this is Johnny Bean, Google Hangout, talking to these dudes, and yeah, I want to talk about some guitars. I know Dave, both of you guys have some cool looking guitars. Jeremy, let's start with your guitar. What kind of guitar is that?
It's actually a James Duffy replica, aka Frankenstrat. I'm very lucky to have it. Waited on it a long time, and it's really all I have to say about that. It's an awesome guitar, but you know, just James is not. I don't know. You know, read up on him.
Yeah,
That's what
I know what you'd like to say, but
Somebody's growling. Look out.
yeah, I don't know who's here, but
It's an awesome guitar.
does that have a Floyd Rose on it, or does it look like does it look exactly like the original record?
It's got a Floyd. It's
There you
actually,
go. Yeah.
It's actually a ping Floyd Rose, like they're on some of the Stratocasters.
Yep.
But I changed out a lot of parts in the Floyd, the fine tuners. I put the brass ones on there.
Mm-hmm.
And these actually come stock with a brass block. I mean, it's not big,
Right.
but, you know, it gets the job done. And I actually put the 70s Schaller tuners on there that Ed had on his,
Oh, very cool.
you know. And they do say made in West Germany.
Yeah.
They do have,
Yeah, they should.
and it's actually a Frankenstrat, the EVH Frankenstrat pickup in there. And as you guys know, if you're not a millionaire and you can buy the autograph version, you know, the regular one that normal people can buy it's got the short legs, and this cavity is actually routed just like heads. I mean, it's gouged and everything, and I actually had to put a piece of wood up under the pickup to get it to set at the correct height. So it really looks jacked up underneath here, but I mean, it's function over, you know.
Yep.
I know what you mean, man. That's cool.
When I first got this guitar, the neck on it got a bunch of bird's eye in it, but the fret ends on this guitar were horrible.
I heard that the original neck has some bird's eye on it.
Oh, what happened?
But I went out for some reason. There I am.
There you go.
Am I back on?
Yep, I see you.
Actually, the fret ends on this guitar when I first got it were bad. I mean, it's a totally unfinished neck. But, I mean, years of playing and torturing my hand, I actually wore the fret ends down. So, I mean, it plays beautifully now, but when I first got it, you know, it's kind of bad.
Well, that's cool. You know what happens also? It's not just from your hands wearing the fret edges down. What happens is, because of the lack of humidity, the wood shrinks, and therefore the fret edges stick out. But when it's humid, when it's 50% humidity, 45 to 50% humidity, the wood swells up again. So it covers a lot. It makes it so you don't feel the fret edges because the wood actually expands. So that's probably what happened. You probably got enough humidity into that guitar where that it's playing great and you don't feel the fret edges anymore.
Another thing that kind of ticks me off about this guitar is like right here in that horn.
Yep.
The paint job's not right because it actually starts like down here.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know if you can see that, but
Oh yeah, I see it.
it's not 100% accurate, but I mean, and that's actual real wear from like me playing it. That's not like doing that with like a sanding block. That's like actual play wear.
Now let me ask you this: the thin stripes on that guitar, is that paint or is that tape?
No, it's actual tape.
Okay, so it's like Ed's, exactly like Ed's.
I mean, the reason he told me he did that was like, it's a real thin clear coat on this guitar. I don't know if you can tell, but he told me the reason he did that was, you know, if I ever wanted to take those off,
Yeah, and make it red.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I could do it. You know?
Yeah. Yep, that's the smart thing.
But I mean, I love it. I call this guitar my first wife. You know.
That's awesome.
My wife really doesn't like that, but
well, she'll get over it one day.
I mean, you know, when you get one of these replicas, man, you know, I mean, you it's not like you feel like you're Eddie Van Halen, but you feel a little bit closer to him because you've got something real close to what he had, you know, because, I mean, the body's made and the neck is it's a two-piece maple neck, you know.
Does that have a large headstock or no?
Yes, it's got the large CBS headstock.
Yeah, there it is. Yep, that's cool.
I don't have the logo on there. I
you don't need the Gibson logo. I think at the end of its tenure on that guitar, the Gibson logo either came off or it faded away.
The pictures, I think I sent them to Dave. The actual original Frankenstrat neck, he tried to put a floor big time.
I didn't hear what you said. You kind of like became robotic.
Eddie actually tried to, on the original Van Halen 1 guitar neck, he tried to put a Floyd nut and made it too big.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's the reason
I
why
actually have pictures of that.
didn't work. It has. From what I've heard, that neck has Floyd holes in it, and the holes are wrong. And I heard that the neck was cracked. The headstock was cracked too. It was busted.
Yeah. I think if they would have tried to route it, you know, with the top nut, I think it would have worked. But they tried to route it with the rear mounted. Could be wrong about that one.
The old style. The old Old style. Did I tell you that I met Floyd Rose?
Oh wow.
Oh, when'd you meet him? At NAMM?
I met him at NAMM just a couple last month, whatever, January. And yeah, he's a friend of my friends, and we met up. 'Cause, you know, NAMM is like 2 or 3 days, right? So you go on different days, you know, or you go every day or whatever. And one of the days when my buddy and I met up, I texted him and I'm like, hey, I'll meet you over at the Floyd Rose booth. And he's like, yeah, I'm on my way headed there right now, which was weird. And I showed up, and yeah, Floyd was sitting there, and he introduced me. He knew Floyd from the '80s. This friend of mine, he knew Floyd from the Kramer days in the '80s and stuff. And he introduced me to him, and yeah, cool dude, really cool to meet him. You know, because I've used the Floyd Roses since the '80s myself. You know.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Johnny, that one is that when he introduced that thing for the Les Pauls?
Yeah, it's brand new, right? It's a brand new Floyd.
Yeah, that's absolutely brand spanking new. That just came out at the NAMM show this year.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that had anything to do with the drop to hell thing Ed was going to do, or whatever happened to that. I wonder what happened to that. A lot of people ask about that. Nobody ever.
It was
really
discontinued.
has a lot of info on it.
I think it was just something that not that it was discontinued. I think it's just on a back burner.
This is the thing you're talking about right here.
Yeah, that's
not the
Floyd
greatest
Rose,
photo,
but he's also talking about.
That's yeah. He's talking about the There's me and Floyd right there.
What was it called? I don't.
There we go.
Yeah, there he is.
That's
sweet.
That's Floyd Rose now. That's me, unfortunately, now as well. But yeah. You're talking about that drop to hell bridge, and yeah, what that is that's basically a What is that? That's like a bridge where you can like just drop like every string.
I think so.
It's almost like it's like having a D-tuner on every string, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you can drop the key. Didn't he record a song with that on that last album?
Yeah.
As is or
As is.
One of those?
I think it was that.
I don't even know. I've never even seen that record. I got it on iTunes. I've never actually seen the actual thing open.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. My bad. Although, you know, when that album came out, before it came out, I had heard all the previews on iTunes. And, you know, iTunes now do like a minute 30 previews or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you listen to those previews, you pretty much heard every song within the preview except the guitar solos. There was no solos. So when I bought that album brand new, the only thing I hadn't really heard was maybe a bridge here and there or the solo. You know, guitar solos. Or whatever. You know?
Yeah.
Although something, you know, maybe I shouldn't say this. Although I did do a video on this anyway, so, you know, whatever. But because of those previews, I was able to figure out that they had actually sampled in some David Lee Roth screams on the new album, right? Because you know, like actually one of the actual screams from Running with the Devil is on the new album. Well, it's not new now, but
their newest album.
Yeah. And because I pointed that out, a lot of people got really pissed off. A lot of people got really mad that I did that because they didn't want to believe it. You know, they were like, "No, that's not true." You know, but it's
TFB.
true. But it's true.
TFB.
You know, I mean, you pull up like in the video. I mean, when I did the video, I wasn't knocking on anybody. I thought it was cool. I thought it was kind of a cool thing that they did that. But yeah, if you have it, pull up the David Lee Roth app on iTunes with the Running with the Devil screams, samples or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's one particular sample on there that they used on the song called "Out of Space." It's exactly it's this exact thing, and I pointed that out in this video, and this is before the album even came out, right? So a lot of people were like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about," blah blah blah, and people hated that video more than anything because they thought I was bagging on them, which I wasn't. Watch the video, you'll see. I was just pointing something out that I discovered I thought was cool, But whatever. Now David Lee Roth has disappeared.
All that stuff was, a lot of that stuff was pulled from old demos.
Yeah. Well, the song, the music ideas were, yeah.
Yeah.
The music ideas were pulled from old demos, although all the lyrics were all brand new, and it was all new recordings. Some people thought that the what's the song he did from the Wildlife that was called Ripley?
Fire and Rain. Fire and Rain. Blood and Fire.
Blood and Fire.
Yeah.
Some people thought that was an original. That was the original demo, which it wasn't. That was a brand new recorded piece of music.
Right. I think the original was with a Kramer Ripley, right?
Yes, not the Kramer though. I think it was the original
No.
Ripley guitar.
It was with the Steve Ripley guitar, which is a Telecaster. It's
Gotcha.
a Telecaster shape, and it's actually a guitar that Eddie calls Super Pluto, which not many people know that.
There's like a picture floating around. He's got like a slingshot on the headstock, and he's like pulling down on that guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was actually a couple of those. There was actually a couple of those guitars.
I think he's got one. He's got one with I think either 3 single coil, or a humbucker and 2 single coils, and then the other one has 2 humbuckers in it.
Yeah, there's different ones. One of them is actually at a Hard Rock Cafe right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not his main one though. It's like a different one, but it is one of those. But Eddie still does use. Does that make sense? Still does use. He still uses them. He still uses them, and you can actually see them. And there was an interview. There's an interview on YouTube from 91, 92, where the interviewer walks in. He walks past a whole row of guitars at 150, and you can see the Ripley sitting there in the pile. And I know that was like 20 something years ago now, but yeah, he still has all that stuff. He still uses it.
Yeah.
I wonder if he still uses any of the Music Man stuff.
I bet you that yellow one is in the studio and at arm's distance. So I'm sure he does use that guitar. I'm sure that guitar is what he bases all of his new guitars off of. Like if he gets a new guitar or whatever, I'm sure that he does an A/B with that guitar, because I know it's in the studio. Again at an arms, you can grab it. It's right there. It's out. Not in a case. You can just it's in the studio. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wish he would do a little bit more info on the Shark guitar.
Mm-hmm.
know?
The Shark.
I think that one's passed a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Kramer actually did a it didn't look just like the Shark. It actually didn't look like the Shark at all. But they actually did like they built a guitar for him that was kind of like the Shark kind of shape, kind of I don't know, was it a star? It was like a bigger.
It was a star. Yeah,
shape.
it was a Voyager. It was their
a Voyager.
It was the very first Voyager for him. And it was pointy. It wasn't rounded like the Voyager came out to be.
Yeah.
And it was striped like Eddie, and the neck that's on the Kramer ad guitar was the neck for that guitar, and he hated the body.
Yeah.
He hated it, but he liked the neck, and
Sure.
so they put that neck on the Kramer ad.
Didn't that Voyager, didn't it have like a VH on it, kind of like the double necks
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the back of the double neck, the red double neck, the double neck Kramer that's red, the back of it has a humongous VH on it. It's like it takes up at least half the body. That's how big the VH on that is.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I have to agree, Eddie. You can see the Voyager that David's talking about. You can see that on vintage Kramer, and I mean the photograph is kind of crappy, but that thing is hideous. It looks, the stripe pattern just doesn't really do it. It just doesn't work. I think that's why Eddie didn't use it, just because it just, I don't know, it just didn't work. It just didn't make the guitar cool looking, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something there really is something to it with those stripes, you know. I mean, that's one of the reasons that the 5150 Kramer was my favorite guitar for so long, is because of that stripe pattern on it.
Absolutely.
You know, it just, there was something about that pattern, the way, you know, the way it had like the middle.
Yeah. Sure. It's almost like a spider web.
It looks like a spider web, kind of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Kind, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly where I was when I first saw that guitar. It was the world premiere of the Panama video, and I didn't have a TV in my room at the time. I was very young. I was 14, so I was in my mom's room watching TV. You know, it was like 8 o'clock on maybe a Saturday night, and the world premiere video came on, and the first second that I saw that guitar, I lost my mind. I was like, wow, look at that. It's got a Gibson Explorer headstock. I couldn't get enough of that guitar. Couldn't get enough of it.
I think
That's
a lot
cool.
of times that for those of us that grew up in the 80s, you know, I mean, you know, the Frankenstrat is awesome. I mean, it's the holy grail. I understand that, but you know, for a lot of us that grew up in the 80s, the 5150 was our Frankenstrat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's definitely my favorite guitar.
And yeah, the same as what Dave said. When I first saw that guitar, it was the Panama video. Same thing with Eddie swinging across, you know, the stage, you know, with that guitar.
Yep.
That was the first time I saw it, and then I remember that. I remember those 3 videos. What, Hoffer Teacher and Jump?
Yep.
You know, I remember all 3 of those videos, and I don't know if I knew if they were different guitars or not. You can tell. Although the Hoffer Teacher and the 5150, you can maybe get those mixed up and think they're the same. You know, if you're, you know, a kid or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't until the Live Without a Net home video, when that came out. I'd watch that videotape every day after school.
Me too.
That's how I learned how to play the guitar, was from watching that video. And because of that video, that's how I became a huge fan of that guitar, the 5150. You know.
It's so weird in the Live Without a Net. It doesn't look red. It looks orange.
Well, it is orange. It's the name of the paint is Sunset Orange, and that's what this color is. It's Schwinn bicycle paint, and it's not red. It's Sunset Orange. It kind of looks
red.
Well, this is not red. It's actually that Sunset Orange color, and that was the same color that they used for this guitar, 5150 and 1984. But what they did, you know, a lot of guitars look different, and the reason it looked different is because whatever color red they had in the shop at the time is what they used. They didn't go by just anything. They just, you know, whatever was available at Kramer is the red that they used at the time. That's why a lot of the guitars look darker than others, and you know they're different shades. But I know for a fact that the Neptune guitar, the 5150, and the 1984 are the same color. It's called Sunset Orange, and it's Schwinn bicycle paint, and it's $50 a can. It's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy how expensive.
They still make it, or is it just it's
You
new
know
old
how
stuff?
many people have searched?
Yeah.
You know, one of the other things that kind of fascinated me about Eddie's guitars, more specifically the Kramers, is like it looked like the pickups, like the legs didn't fit down in the cavity. They had to be kind of squeezed to like fit down in the cavity. That's always been kind of fascinating. It may just look that way in pictures.
No, you might be right. It depends on the guitar, though. There was no rhyme or reason, you know, at that time. They did what they had to do to make it work. And if they had to cut the legs down and then drill holes to make the pickup fit correctly, they'd do that. Or they'd build it up. Paul Unkert, who built most of Eddie's guitars, he's a friend of mine, and he told me that on a lot of the guitars with that big route in the humbucker, you know, the Frankenstein looking ones like this,
Sure.
he would cut a big hole, deep hole, and then he would add wood as he needed it, and then, you know, and then place the pickup when he got it at the right height. So that's what he did with those guitars. So yeah. But nowadays, I mean, everything, you know, when you cut a body on a CNC machine, everything is digitized. So you have everything ends up being at the right height, depending on you can program it for pickups with short legs or long legs, and it'll cut it the way you want it to be cut. And that's what this is. This is cut exactly the way Eddie's guitar is cut, with the bump, with everything. It's exactly the way his is cut, but it's also cut deep enough where this pickup fits right in it. Because I knew what pickup I wanted to put in it before I got the guitar.
What is that, a 59 in there?
No, this is a Wolfgang pickup. This is a new Wolfgang pickup.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a zebra pickup. For some reason, no one had it in stock. Any brand, black and white or black and cream, and I didn't want to wait. I really didn't want to wait another 2 weeks to order one. So the Music Zoo had a set. You know, I bought a set of these Wolfgang pickups. Unfortunately, on the original one, the white should be next to the Floyd. It should be flip-flopped. But the Wolfgang ones are this way. That's just the way they are. So I left it as is.
Yeah, they're all like that. The Music Man and the Peavey and the Wolfgang, they're all would it be reverse?
Yeah.
Reverse zebra is the term. Because I know the Schaller, I believe the Schallers were in the Berettas.
Yes.
Weren't those reverse zebra?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Actually, the Schallers, they weren't Schallers. They switched them over to Duncan JBs by that time. Like the 85 Berettas. In 85, they went to Duncan instead of the Schaller. They stopped the Schaller in 84.
You guys know I live like an hour from Meridian, right, where all the Wolfgangs and the 5150s were made.
No kidding.
Wow.
Like an hour down the road.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. I remember you telling me that.
Really kind of ashamed to say that after the last Undercover Boss with Peavey.
Everybody's talking about that. I saw that. I happened to be. I was in Tahoe. I was in Lake. I don't have a TV, right? I don't watch TV at all, and we just happened to be in Lake Tahoe that weekend, or whenever that night that show was on, and a friend of mine posted on Facebook, I'm watching this show, Peavey is on it. And so I'm like, huh. So I just happened to run into one of the bedrooms, and turned on the TV, and I saw it. I watched it, you know. And yeah, man, after that, everybody went nuts, man.
That's cool.
You
I
know?
have yet to see it. I got to see it.
Well,
I do.
then
I
it's
do
not cool.
I do
No,
call
people are
Peavey.
hating on Peavey, man.
Well,
People
Well, I
don't
mean,
like
I
Peavey
call
anymore because of that.
I thought the Undercover Boss was cool, but yeah, I guess you're right. It should have been Hartley.
Well, he was on
I
it.
call Peavey every so often, about different questions and stuff. And I mean, every representative I talk to there, I say, the last thing I say before I get off the phone is, do you have a good, EVH story for me? And some people do, and some people don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The Peavey though, the Peavey Wolfgangs, those are good guitars. I have one. Although I've never been a huge fan of the neck, the shape of the neck. I love the Ernie Ball Music Man neck. Excuse me, I love that neck. And the Peavey Wolfgang is totally different.
Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
Yeah.
At all.
And it's very different from the Fender as well, from the Fender Wolfgang, the EVH Wolfgang. Very different. I would say that the Music Man and the EVH brand Wolfgang are very similar, except I think the EVH Wolfgang has a flatter radius fretboard.
The EVH is a lot, to me, seems like.
Huh?
The EVH Wolfgang seems to me to be a lot thinner than the Peaveys.
Yes, they are. They are, absolutely. They're thinner and shallower.
Because I played a friend of mine. He's got a Peavey Wolfgang Standard. It's an amber guitar, and I remember I wanted one. I wanted one of the specials that were made in Meridian. I think the specials, they made them in like purple and green. The ones that were made here in Meridian.
Yep.
I remember after I played his and I felt the neck on it, I was just like, I don't think I really want that, because the neck was kind of wide and kind of bigger.
That's weird.
It's definitely different. It's different, and the funny thing about those Peavey Wolfgang guitars is, because I have one and I use it. I use it for. I did a gig with it. Last year. I record with it a lot. When I do a lot of recording, I use it to record with that guitar. But the thing is I can't switch to that guitar from another guitar, or vice versa. There's something about that neck where if I'm playing, say, this Fender Tele right here, this is my main axe right here, the Japanese Tele Custom 72 reissue. It's my favorite guitar right there. If I'm playing this guitar, I can't switch to the Peavey or switch from the Peavey to this. There's something about that shape of that neck where I have to just stick with that one guitar, and it's fine. It's fine. But if I switch to it or from it, well, that doesn't make sense. If switching from it, if I switch to it from anything else, it's like, nah, this doesn't feel right to me, But if I stick with it, if that's the only guitar I'm using, the Peavey Wolfgang, then I'm fine. It's weird. I don't know. Is that how I'm explaining it?
Yeah.
I guess. And I think Jeremy got dropped or something, but we can keep rolling.
Okay.
There he is. He's back.
There you go.
For some reason, it cut me out. Why did you guys kick me out?
We didn't kick you out.
We didn't.
Oh, there he goes again. Oh, there you are.
It just dropped. It's
Why
it's the
you guys
it,
kick me out?
it's the time of day. You know, this time of day, everybody's jumping on the internet, and so this video is going to be getting slower and slower and slower as time drags on.
That's not good.
But yeah, I know. What were we going to talk about though, man? We talked for like an hour about nothing. Oh yeah, your Neptune, man. What's the story behind that guitar?
Yeah,
Stop texting.
I'm not texting.
Stop sexting.
Oh Lord. Okay, well, this was always one of my favorite guitars to look at. I just thought it was cool looking. It was so ugly, so damn ugly, that I always wanted to have a replica of it. It was the second one that my buddy Nick painted for me, and we put it together. We put it together. The first one being my 5150 guitar, and then that one came out so good that I was like, well, I always wanted a Neptune guitar, and he's like, well, I've never done one. Let's try it. And he lives in New York here, and he's 20 years old. He actually flew to L.A. to get photos of the guitar, to get the paint right, to get some of the stripes correct. He flew to L.A. just to see the original guitar, so that when he came back to New York, he could build this guitar.
That is awesome.
That's insane. It's insane, isn't it?
That's insane.
It's totally insane that he did that, but he did, and it's a great guitar. It's very lightweight. I've got a 1984 reissue Floyd Rose on it with the brass tuners. It's got a big brass block on it. It comes stock. Can you see that at all?
Yeah.
The neck is a Boogie Bodies neck, which do you guys know Adam Reaver from Tone? He owns that. He owns that company. I normally get my necks from either Music Craft or from Boogie Bodies, and this one happens to be a Boogie Body one. And I mean, it's dead on, dead on.
Looks awesome.
Thank you very much. The back plate on this is an original.
What's the profile?
What's that? The profile on the neck?
What's the profile on? Is it like a thin?
It's like the 5150. If you played a Music Man, an original Music Man, it would feel exactly like this.
Cool.
Yeah, it's small and it's kind of beefy in the back a little bit from front to back, but very small this way. Like the Music Man. Johnny, since you have one, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great necks.
Yeah.
Those are great necks.
Yeah, it is. This one has a slight finish on it because the original Neptune was never used, and it also has a finish on it. It's not a bare wood body. It's not a bare wood neck. So when we got this neck, we put a slight finish on it just so that it would be the right tint to make it look like Eddie's guitar. But it's still, very easy to play. It doesn't get, your hands don't get hung up. What else can I say about it? The back plate, the Kramer back plate, is an original from the 80s. From the early 80s. I don't know if you could see that.
I mean, what kind of paint?
What was that, Hef? I didn't hear what you said. Johnny, could you hear him?
Everybody's frozen. I'm not frozen. I'm here. I don't know.
Is it spray paint?
Oh.
What was that?
How long was that delay? Is it spray paint?
It's
Something.
yeah, it's that sunset orange paint. That's what we used for this guitar. We used the paint that Eddie used on his.
I mean,
Yeah,
is it
'cause
kind of spray gun or is it spray paint like out of a can?
It's spray can.
Okay.
That's how it comes. It comes in a can, like like a shaking can.
Like Krylon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Look awesome, man.
It's called
Thank
like
you very much.
Rattle can.
Yeah, it's called a rattle can. Exactly.
Rattle can.
Yep.
It's called a rattle can.
This
what
guitar.
kind of switch is in that?
Go ahead.
What kind of switch is in that? What kind of, is that a 3-way, 5-way?
It's a 5-way. Because that's what we had.
And there's the real deal right there, getting painted.
Oh yeah, getting its paint. That's it.
Right there.
Yeah, I remember pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I know because of all this, it does look red, but yeah, it is actually orange. I believe you, because I've seen the real thing myself, and it is actually orange.
Oh wait a second, my buddy Dion just.
Newsflash.
Jesus. Yeah.
The guitar is orange.
Oh my God. My buddy Dion from Gibson Guitars. He's the manager of the repair and restoration in Nashville, Tennessee. He just bought this. Just sent me that photo. Can you see the quilt top on that?
That's insane.
It's gorgeous.
Is that a red one? Or
yeah, it's red. I've never seen a red one that insane.
It looks wet.
It's amazing looking. Oh my God. I got to text him back real quick. I'm going to say, where the hell did you get that?
That thing dropped in the water.
The hell did you?
While you're doing that, I'll show this off. Here's a photo of me with the real deal. That's the real thing right there.
Yeah, that's it.
The real deal. And yeah, I took a video. I took a nice close-up video of it, which I'll link within this video. But yeah, I saw it after the NAMM show. I was at NAMM this year, and then something I'd been meaning to do is to get over, because see, for a long time, I thought that guitar, which is called the Neptune, or what people call it anyway, I thought that guitar was at the Universal City Hard Rock Cafe. The Hard Rock Cafe that's right next to that huge Frankenstein that lights up.
Yeah, sure.
Universal City. City Walk. I kept thinking for years that guitar was there, because everybody who went there, I would say, oh, go check out the Neptune guitar, and they'd be like, yeah, I saw it, and then, so for a long time I thought it was there, and then finally I run in there, and it's not in there. It's nowhere to be seen in there. The stuff they have in there, they have a signed replica, the one of the Chip Ellis replicas.
Yeah.
They have one of those in there that's signed.
I'm back.
Which I have a photo of. Yeah, man, we kicked you out and you came back. But see, look. So they have one of these in there. This is what's in that Hard Rock. One of those Chip Ellis replicas that's signed by Eddie. They have one of those in there, and then they also have what is known. They have the Rickenbacker, Michael Anthony's Rick from the Panama video.
Oh wow, is that the original one?
Yeah, that's the original one.
That's cool.
They have that at that Hard Rock. So I run in there and I'm like, I asked the guy who works in there. I'm like, are those the only Van Halen guitars you have in here? Because I'm looking for this other guitar. And he's like, oh yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. He's like, no, that's at the one in Hollywood, you know. So I had to run over there, which actually is not that far. They're both really close to each other.
Yeah.
So I basically just had to run in there, and it's by the kitchen. So if you're watching this, if you run into if you're on, Hollywood and Highland in Hollywood, and you run into the Hard Rock Cafe, go straight in, just walk straight all the way to the back, and you'll see the kitchen, and the Neptune guitar is right there on the wall.
Did I miss one discussion about the EVH Ernie Ball Music Man? Did you guys talk about that any?
Which one?
The one
that photograph.
The one that I just photographed?
Yes.
Yeah, because you started talking about that, and we kicked him out.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, my friend, did you hear any of what I had said about it?
I heard your friend, and it cut off.
Oh, friend.
Dave is like, man, my friend just sent me this, but Hef can't see this, and so he kicked you out. He showed it to me. We talked about it, and then he let you back in.
I'll give you a short recap. My buddy who works at Gibson in Nashville is he's the manager at the restoration and repair at Gibson, and he repairs, like, if Slash breaks a headstock on one of his guitars, my buddy's the guy who fixes it, and he's a huge Van Halen nut, like us. So I guess he just bought it. I just texted him back, and I'm waiting for him to tell me the lowdown on it.
Wow.
He's got more Van Halen stuff than I do. He's just, he builds his own as well. So yeah, he's got a ridiculous collection.
That's an awesome quilt on that thing. It's really deep.
I know, it's gorgeous, and
Looks
I'm sure he paid next to nothing for it, because he finds deals all over the place. In Nashville, everyone wants a Telecaster. So, anything that has a Floyd Rose on, it's probably going to be real cheap. This is probably him.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. He paid $1,200 for it on Craigslist.
Oh, my God.
Craigslist.
That's insane. That is insane.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Gorgeous.
Johnny, you there?
He probably didn't want to hear. Maybe he's getting his drink now.
Oh.
But he probably didn't want to hear the story again.
That is awesome.
Dude, I was trying to listen. You kicked me out.
Oh.
He's so full of crap.
I'm like, man, I can't wait to hear about this guitar. And all of a sudden, it's like, click.
Oh God, that's so funny. Yeah, he said now he's rubbing it in. He's like, it's amazing. It sounds amazing.
What? I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear what I just said?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I didn't see it. I can't. How come you can't see me?
Because you got to unmute yourself.
All right, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm here. I was just getting dressed.
Here's Johnny.
That's crazy. So what else you guys? Oh, so here's another story about this Neptune guitar. So I told you before that I'm friends with Paul Unkert, and one of the times I went to his shop, I brought this guitar with me. And it happens a lot. Like, every time I bring one of these guitars with me, he says the same thing. He's like, so how did you get that one? He says, I remember building that one. This is my guitar, right? And I'm like, no, your guitar is hanging up in a Hard Rock Cafe. I doubt I could ever get that one. But he was like, well, you know the story with that? I'm like, no, I don't. He says, well, I painted that body. I painted all the white and the black stripes. And I'm in the middle of painting the black stripes, and Eddie grabs the body from me and starts putting these black splotch polka dots on on the black stripes, and he says, "Man, it pissed me off because it looks like crap." And then he said, "You put him exactly in the same spot." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I wanted to make it just like your guitar, like the original." And he was like, "Man, it would have been perfect if you would have stopped before you put the splotches on it."
There you go. There you go. That's the real one right there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think the splotches give it character, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like those splotches.
It makes it seem kind of less than perfect, which is what it's supposed to be, rude and crude.
Mm-hmm. There he is with Floyd Rose, right there.
Yep.
Awesome.
Making that thing. And everybody, this is the photo everybody knows. Everybody sees this picture before it had the decal on it.
That's right. No strings, no decal, no neck pickup.
Yeah. There it is.
Eddie's kind of like 5 seconds. I got a stripe guitar. Boom. Here it is.
That's right.
Oh wait.
Let me see if I can get that exact picture here happening.
Hang on. Eddie just joined the call. Hey Eddie, how are you? hey everybody.
Wow. That would be awesome.
Dave, remember the time we were in here and Alex is like, let's get Sammy Hagar in here.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
And we're like, no. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
We did a hangout one time, and there's this kid that we know, and he's pretty reckless. Like he has no boundaries or anything. And he's like, let's call Sammy. Get Sammy in here.
Man, but how do you actually call Sammy Hagar? You don't. How do you do that? Is he on your list?
He is not. Michael Anthony is. Michael Anthony's on my list.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the thing is he has to be on at the same time we're on. That's the problem. Because Hef, I've talked to Mike in these things.
Right.
You said you saw a video.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've talked to him twice. I think 2 times on here, and then I've seen him at NAMM 2 times.
I've seen the videos of you at NAMM with him.
Yeah, I think there was the time I had that mustache, and then last year, and then there's something else too. There was something else. I talked to him on Rockline.
Oh, you did?
I talked to him on the radio once.
That's
for
cool.
Chickenfoot when that last Chickenfoot album came out.
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
So I saw the video of him saying that, with you taking a photo of him, with him, and him saying, "Oh yeah, I remember you. We spoke on, spoke on a hangout." I remember that. I saw that.
Yeah.
That was very cool. Dude,
Yeah.
I do remember you.
Yeah, that was fun. That was last year. Yeah, I was hoping to see him this year, but he was sick.
Right.
He was there the night before. That generally, if you ever go to NAMM, Saturday is the day to go. The day that anything cool happens is on Saturday. And Michael Anthony always signs on a Saturday at Peavey because he does the Peavey. He has the Peavey amplifier now.
Right.
And, he did a presentation last year with a friend of mine named Alex Skolnick.
Oh, by the way, Alex was on that metal show this Saturday night. He was the musical guest.
Last night or something. Yeah.
Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I heard about it because he gave a guitar away. Posting it.
He gave a guitar away. That was one of the that was one.
Oh yeah.
His guitar was one of the prizes on Stump the Trunk.
What? A silver?
A silver, yeah, silver. What's the brand?
ESP?
Huh?
He's with ESP now, right?
Is it ESP? Yeah, that's right. It's actually, was it a gold one or a silver one? No, it was a silver burst.
A silver burst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've known Alex since 90. '93. Since '93, because he taught guitar lessons. This was after he left Testament the first time. If you know about who he is and his band Testament, they're from here. Although he doesn't live here now, he lives in New York. But he was in Testament, and then he left Testament, and then he was teaching guitar lessons at this guitar store that I worked at in '93, '94, '95, and so I used to hang out with him all the time in between lessons. We would talk Van Halen. I would play him bootlegs.
Right.
I would show him like tour books, Women Children First tour book. I'd get in the mail. I'd buy, you know. Man, I got so many stories. This is just crazy. I used to buy Van Halen tour books from the girl that won the Sammy Hagar contest, where she named his album.
Oh yeah.
I Never Said Goodbye. That has Give to Live on it. You know that album?
Yeah, sure.
The girl that won that contest, she got to go to 5150. She got to, you know, sit on Eddie's motorcycle. I don't know what the deal was. All this stuff. Anyway, I used to buy stuff from her in the '90s. I used to buy bootlegs from her. I used to buy actual memorabilia, tour books, you know, all kinds of stuff. And so I'd buy this stuff, and then I would take it in, you know, to this shop, and Alex and I would look at it. We'd be looking through the books, like, wow, this is cool, you know? Yeah. And so I don't even know what I'm even trying to say, but anyway, so yeah, I've known him for years and years and years, and here's a funny story. Nobody knows this. He told me that the only time he got Eddie's autograph was when they were like in the same studio at some point. Eddie was in one studio next door, Alex next door, whatever, and Eddie had or Alex got Eddie's autograph on a piece of paper, like just a little piece of paper with a signature. And then Alex, you know, goes home, takes it home or whatever. Alex's girlfriend throws it away.
Oh my God.
Because she's like, what's this? You know, flushes it down the toilet.
Wow.
You know. So he's like, that's the only time he ever had his autograph. You know. But yeah, more recently though, Alex got to play with Wolfgang. They actually played. Wolfgang. They just did a. This is just like what, a few weeks ago. He did a cruise, and he actually played with a bunch of musicians. Alex was one of them, and they played the entire Van Halen 1 album in its entirety live.
No kidding.
And Wolfgang played bass. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. He got to play with them and whatever. What was I even trying to say though? Anyway, yeah. A couple years ago, Alex had his own Peavey amplifier as well. He had a Peavey amp, and then Michael Anthony had his Peavey amp, and they both did a presentation together at Peavey. And I filmed either I filmed all of it or I filmed part of it. It's on YouTube. I'll link it, you know, in the link or whatever. But that was a couple of years ago, and
was it at Peavey?
No, it was at NAMM in Anaheim at the Peavey booth.
Okay. I did speak to.
It's a pretty big room. Huh?
I spoke to a rep at Peavey shortly after I saw the Peavey undercover boss, and they did say the reason that that Hartley's son did it was because everybody knew Hartley's voice, so there was no way they could cover that up. They shaved his beard off or did something crazy that there was no way to hide his voice, and that's why his son did it.
Oh, that's his son that went undercover?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, because I knew, because I didn't see the whole show. I saw maybe half of it, and I did see the parts where Hartley was like, you know, back in a room watching on a monitor, you know.
Right.
Yeah. He's got like an ear.
An earpiece? Yeah. Son though. That's cool. And I didn't see. I actually I asked a friend of mine what they mainly focused on within that factory, because I didn't see all of it. I don't think there was any guitars there. It was just like amplifiers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
He was like messing up, soldering an amp or whatever.
Yeah.
Oops.
It was kind of like the first time he'd ever saw an amp, really.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But I don't know, the biggest thing about Peavey that kind of gets
I like Peavey stuff. I met Hartley.
Well, it's just the fact that they totally erase EVH from their history, and I mean, he was part of the history, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, there was some bad blood. There was some definite bad blood between Hartley and Eddie.
But I mean, that still doesn't erase the history, though, you know?
No, you're right. You're right about that.
I mean, he's a lot of the reason for the success of that company. Not the sole reason, but I mean, you know, a lot of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't get me to believe that I believe that they sold more products, you know, amplifiers, guitars, guitar straps, you know, when Eddie was there, than probably the whole, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Well, they got a whole new audience because that 5150 amp, after it came out, you know, all these heavy metal guys grabbed onto it, and now
not just the heavy metal guys. I mean, Ted Nugent was using it too. I think he still is, actually.
He still is. Yeah, he still uses the 6505, and it still lives on. That's the thing.
Yeah, but yeah, most people who use that 6505 or looking for the original 5150s are like these super heavy metal dudes, though.
Yeah.
No, well, not heavy, like thrash metal. That's you know, like well, I don't listen to that kind of music, so I can't name any bands, but I do know for a fact that a lot of the guys in those heavier detuned 8-string guitar bands,
yeah,
use those amps and want those amps.
Most of the time, when you look up a demo on a 5150 or a 6505, that's what you hear is like the thrash metal stuff. You don't hear the Van Halen stuff at all, hardly any on YouTube. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what those, like you said, Johnny, that's what those guys use.
Yeah, it's like an 8-string guitar tuned down to Z.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, and those guys are just waiting for that Drop to Hell bridge to come out, man.
Oh yeah.
You know?
They're at the bit.
It's so funny.
I have a cool photo of that bridge. I'll have to find it. Well, it's on I can't show it to you. It's on my computer, but I have a cool photo of you remember the round table video of Eddie with Chip Ellis?
Sure.
Where they're all sitting there in a room and they're talking about the EVH Wolfgang guitar. It's when they first introduced it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they call that the round table video. And anyway, there's an outtake. I have an outtake photo from that video shoot of Eddie holding a Wolfgang with that bridge on it. And,
oh, that's cool.
I'll show it to you off air because I can't show it to you on this because I'm on this. But it's cool. It's a Wolfgang. It's not the striped one. It's not the one that you think of him using from the magazine.
Isn't it a white one?
No, it's not white.
No kidding.
It's
Sunburst.
It's not sunburst. It's like a tiger stripe amber or something.
Oh, okay, that's cool too.
He had some funky looking colors in that video that you're talking about. I mean, they wasn't like production colors, I don't think.
No, well, because that was at the factory. And so a lot of the stuff there is like one-off stuff or stuff they were making, stuff that never used or some of it was that he used, he was testing the guitar on stage. It's like a natural-looking headstock, no color on the headstock, but the guitar is like black and it has like a number on it, like a
it's
huge
got a number 4.
Number
like
4 or whatever.
Right, he used number 4 for a lot of that tour.
Yeah, you know, stuff like that, or different ones, several different ones, many different. He used so many different guitars and necks and all that stuff while, you know, road testing that stuff before that guitar was released, you know. And
hey, John,
I love that guitar. It's an amazing guitar. I wish I had one, man. I mean, they're incredible.
Johnny, you want to talk a little bit? Did you watch that video I sent you, the part 4 of the EVH Frankenstrat video? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Oh,
So
I need to see that too. I haven't seen it. By the way, before you start with that, I just want to show Hef what I had done today. See that white dot in the middle of the 2 knobs?
I do.
Kill switch.
Is that a Mentos?
Kill switch.
Awesome. Kill switch.
Did you glue a Mentos to your pickguard?
I did. This way, whenever I'm hungry or have bad breath, I could just lick it.
Awesome.
Is that a lick switch?
Hey, what's with the green? I just see.
That's
a green,
you.
I see a green background.
Green? You mean on you?
Yeah.
You mean those dots?
No, there's a green background on my iPad now. Instead of seeing you, I see this big green blotch.
I've been slimed, man. I don't know. It all looks good to me. I can see both of you fine.
That's great.
It's all cool. It's all cool.
But I just thought it was kind of ironic. You know, they finally give it away that the actual production model of the EVH Frankenstein was built off the original Frankenstein that Chip spent time with the actual guitar, because it wasn't let on at first that he did.
Huh? He actually had the actual guitar with him?
Yeah. He says it in that video.
Cool.
They had it there for like 3 or 4 months.
Really? They had Eddie's Frankenstein there for 3 or 4 months?
Yeah.
Then then the whole premise of that is a lie, because he was supposed to have done those guitars from just photos.
Right. What they did was the graphic that's on the Stripe series and on the EVH
the prototype.
Oh, that was based.
No, what he says is I think we're all robots now.
We are robots. Eat up work. It's really weird. I see nothing but a green screen.
Dave.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The first. What do you call it?
I don't know.
The first guitar.
The prototype. The prototype.
The first prototype Chip did from photos.
I'll be back. I've got that picture. Hold on. I'll be back.
Okay.
I'll be Beethoven.
Yeah, the first one he did from photos is what Hef is saying.
Oh, okay.
And this video that he's talking about is the video that comes with the guitar.
Right.
The guitar comes with the DVD and comes with some guitar picks and comes with a signed photo.
Uh-huh.
And that DVD that comes with the guitar is the video that the video they sent me.
Does it come with cool pics like this one?
I have one of those.
I'm sure you do.
I used one the other day, man. I actually used your guitar pick, man.
Johnny, I can't see you on the main screen. I don't know what's going on here.
You can't see me at all?
No, all I see is this green blotch.
I've got your guitar pick right here, man.
Hang on.
I used it.
Dave, can you hear me?
But no, I think those other ones, I think they came with something like this. I can see both of you guys though. You look.
Hey, can
you
guys see me?
I see you. I think Dave is frozen though.
This is the prototype.
Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, there you go. Now I see you. I don't know. I
Dave,
crashed.
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here now. I crashed.
Can you see that, Johnny?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's the prototype.
Yes, you can see the seagulls are in the wrong spot. Yep. The seagulls are not correct.
Right, that's the prototype.
Yeah.
That's the one the Stripe series and the Charvels are made after.
That's too bad.
It's not like this.
I hear you. I see you. I can see you guys.
That's the real.
You got to keep talking, Hef, if we're going to see the photo.
That's the real deal.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's the center. That's the centerfold from the Guitar World.
Right. You guys picking that up?
As long as you talk, we are.
Okay. I'm gonna keep on talking. That's the real deal. That's the prototype. That's the one that he first made the image of. That's the one he sent to Eddie before they made the actual production models.
Right.
Which magazine is that centerfold from? Is that the one with him with like the ET neck or whatever?
I actually can't remember.
Oh no, that you mean the one of Eddie's guitar?
The Guitar, that's a centerfold from a Guitar World magazine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, there's remember the issue where it looked like he was photoshopped, like it was a different head on a different body.
Yes.
I'm wondering, is that from that issue?
I don't know. Johnny, I only see your avatar now. Your video's gone.
Yeah, I know. I turned it off because I was getting dressed.
Nice.
Nice.
Hey, there's an old tag.
That's cool, man.
That is very cool.
Yeah, you should send that to Eddie because Eddie has those at 5150, man.
I actually use them on my car. I've got one on there now.
Really?
Yeah, because up at 5150 in the studio, he has a wall that has a bunch of license plates on it, just like that.
There's a little hit of the wall there. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Those are albums?
Yes, those are all the real records.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, you got that one guitar for the practicing musician poster.
Yeah, where he's wearing the red sweater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that photo.
Dude, did you see the other one? Somebody just posted. Somebody just pooted.
I was just trying to be quiet.
Somebody posted an outtake from that. Did you see that?
No, where is it?
Let me find it.
Because I'm gonna blow that shit up.
I have it. It's very similar. It's a similar thing. Where is it?
Hey, you guys see my LSU mannequin? I'm the biggest LSU fan on the planet.
Yeah, well, that's your problem.
What do you pull for?
I'm not a big football guy. I'm just kidding with you.
No, I know. It's okay. It's cool.
I know I look like a big football guy, but not.
I don't know what LSU is.
Louisiana
It's like LSD, but not as potent.
We don't have football out here. Oh, except for the Raiders and the 49ers. I forgot.
Hey, Johnny.
Uh-huh.
Hey, the Raiders had one of the LSU players. Their quarterback was from LSU at one time.
Oh, cool.
Jamarcus Russell, he was a big flop.
I don't even know who that is. What band does he play in?
He was in Kiss at one time.
Everyone was in Kiss at one time.
I think I was in Kiss at one time.
Yeah, you
Dude.
probably were. I wouldn't doubt it.
I met. I was in a band one time, and we actually showcased for Bill Coyne. You know who Bill Coyne is?
No.
No.
He was Kiss's manager.
I'll be right back.
And Nesdall is going to miss out on this amazing story.
No, I'm listening. I
Okay.
just got to leave the area.
Okay. Anyway, he was Kiss's manager, and we showcased for him. I met him, and he's since passed away. He's gone now, but we showcased for him. He gave us tips about stuff, blah blah blah. You know, was telling us what we were doing wrong on stage, all this stuff. Anyway, he was the guy. He's the original guy that passed on Van Halen in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
Gene Simmons flies Van Halen to New York to meet with Kiss's manager, which is this guy, Bill Coyne. He passes on Van Halen because he had just signed a band called Piper with Billy Squier. Right?
Okay.
It's true. It's all true. Anyway, that's my Kiss story. That and something else, I forget. I'm still looking for that picture, that photograph of Eddie, but I'll have to show it to you offline of this because I can't find it.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he compared Eddie to Billy.
Well, I mean, they're different. Newsflash, this just in.
Sorry.
Well, it was a different time then, and he just didn't see anything. He didn't get it, with Van Halen and what they were doing at the time.
What did it with him with Billy Squier, like his dancing? Or what?
You've heard all those Gene Brothers tapes, right?
Oh, the demos? Yeah.
Yeah, like the Gene Simmons ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Gene Simmons ones, where those they're Van Halen songs, but they sound like Kiss,
Absolutely, yeah, I know.
Because the production and the guitar, it all sounds like Kiss stuff, but it's Van Halen.
Well, it's kind of sped up, right?
Yeah, it's faster. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier before we jumped in this hangout.
You mean the ones where it's kind of like the yeah.
Yeah. It's more like Kiss, Kiss music at the time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is still which is cool, which is good stuff, but it's not, it's totally different than what that first album sounded like.
Sure.
That first record. Which I know I told you because we talked. I know we talked on the phone, the other day, and I was telling you that I can't listen to that album anymore.
Sure.
And that's because I've heard it so many times. The first Van Halen album,
Right.
that it's not that I'm sick of those songs. It's those versions of those songs that I've heard so many billions and billions of times. Since I was 12 years old.
Sure.
I can't listen to that. I still listen to bootlegs. I listen to bootlegs. Although one of the things that I do listen to a lot is I do have like 8 hours of instrumental tracks and of Van Halen tracks, and some of those tracks are like Jamie's Crying, On Fire, maybe.
Yeah.
The early stuff. The
Yes.
early stuff, and I do listen to that stuff on there, and I do pick up and hear different things, like what you were saying the other day, how you listen to their songs and you hear something new every time, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like every time you listen, I heard something new the other day, but it was only because it was an instrumental version of the guitar for Ain't Talking About Love. I just happened to hear like a vibrato that Eddie did that I'd never heard before on the actual album.
Right. I've heard that too. I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Which one?
Towards the end of the song, he does a thing with it's like a pull-off thing with the tremolo arm.
No.
No?
No. It's during the breakdown when it's really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the A minor.
Oh, okay.
Before the flanger, dun dun.
Yeah.
Before the harmonics.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the A minor, and he does this little tiny little vibrato on one of those strings, and something like that I'd never heard before. I'd never heard it, and I'd play it for you, but I can't because it's on my computer.
I think that's one of the most interesting things about Van Halen fans.
Yeah,
like
I can.
me and we're talking about earlier is like, I mean, to some degree, I mean, this never gets old. It never does. I mean, and I've heard these songs, all of them, at least 1 million times a piece, and it's old.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really says something about their music, because I was the biggest Metallica fan I ever wanted. But I mean, they did, albums with orchestras, albums, just in different sort of.
They did that at the Berkeley Community Theater.
That's right.
I remember when they did that because they live here. They're from here. I remember when they were filming that. I remember there was like an open call to go and
I mean, it just, it eventually got old, and that's why.
Berkeley Community Theater is where they did that. Well, this is like something I told you this earlier. Earlier this afternoon, I did like this impromptu little interview for this kid's essay. This kid that goes to school in England. He sends me a message, and he's like, oh, can I ask you a couple questions for this essay?
Sure.
And so, and one of the things he asked me why Eddie was, I'll give you my answer on this. What I told him. He asked me why I thought Eddie was so. What was it? How do you pronounce the word? Influential? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Influenza?
Influential.
There we go. I want to get the right one. Influential. Why he was so influential. And I said, well, the main reason is because that band has great songs. That's the main bottom line.
Sure.
He's a great guitar player. I mean, he's come out with ideas and styles and sounds that nobody ever did at the time, But if it wasn't for the songs, a lot of that, it would Van Halen wouldn't have gone as far as they did without those songs.
Sure.
Because anybody can play guitar. Anybody, you can look up on YouTube and find anybody being as bitchin' as they want to be, but they're just jamming over nothing, and it's like, who cares? Right, it just goes past you, You know, it's all about the music, man. And yeah, it's all about having great songs, and on top of having great songs, being a great guitar player, having a sound. And I don't mean just having a sound, having a style, having like just a total, just a feeling. That guy brought a whole new feeling with him when he plays guitar, and people just, everybody wants it. It's just
no pun intended.
Yeah, everybody wants some of that, you know.
Yeah.
We all want some too. You know what I mean? Huh?
You know, one of the things that I think is like often looked over in Eddie's, especially in his solos, is like the way and then he takes a little break, and he takes a little break. It's not oversaturated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his phrasing is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And nobody does that. Nobody.
That's because he's such a great rhythm guitar player. Even in his solos, they're great rhythms.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like songs within songs. And one of the reasons why he started using the whammy bar was to break up his playing so fast, you know. He would play like so fast, and then he started using the whammy bar to break that up, to add to it.
Absolutely makes sense.
I agree.
You know, but you know, it's just a whole different style that was brand new at the time. You know, at the time, and I mean, some of us I think Dave is the only one who was actually around at the time when all that stuff broke. I wasn't. You know, I
wasn't. I didn't know them in '78. My first, the first concert I ever went to was Van Halen in 1981. I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Nice.
I just was. It blew my mind. It just absolutely blew my mind. I couldn't believe the sound, and it was amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Plus all the boobs.
Man, those are always amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ought to check them out at Mardi Gras in New Orleans.
Yeah, you're right.
Notice I didn't say New Orleans. I said New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans?
That's how that's how people pronounce it from Louisiana.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. You mean like New York?
New York.
Or like how we say out here, California.
Yeah. As your governor says, Kenya.
Who, that guy?
Who is that guy?
I'll be back.
The old guy. Yeah. He's not our governor anymore, but yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Man, that guy flew right over my house one time, man. In a chopper. Him and George Bush were in a chopper that went right over my house one day, and I saw them. And I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, I bet you that Schwarzenegger and Bush. And then on the news that night, we saw a video. It's like them arriving together in a chopper in Sacramento, and I'm like, that was them.
Wait, was it Marine One? Big helicopter?
Oh, I don't know. It was huge. It was a chopper surrounded by other choppers, or surrounded by jets.
Well, if it was Marine One, that big helicopter, There's 3 of them, and what they do is they fly in a pattern like a figure 8, so that no one actually knows which one they're in. You know, like, and that's it. They like weave so that no one knows which one is the real one.
Oh, but I saw them because they were both sitting on the side with their legs hanging out.
Nice.
No, I'm kidding. You know, they're both sitting there with their legs, doing this stuff,
Yeah, because they're both rocket scientists.
Obviously. Hey,
these little boy.
I think we're off topic.
What do you guys think about the Dwyer and Michael?
I don't think anybody watches these videos, 3 hours in, but whatever. Oh yeah, what was Dwyer, the two dorks?
Yeah.
What about those guys?
I don't know if it was Dave or it was you, Johnny, that I was talking. Those just seem staged to me.
Yeah, you were talking to me. Yeah, when we were talking on the phone the other day. Well, I told you the reason why those things sound so weird is because they're edited. All the dead air is cut out. So they're all they're very choppy when you listen to them.
Well,
is that why?
I mean, the reason that I say that is just because, like, when they first call him, and he's sitting there playing the guitar real loud, and he goes, yeah, yeah, and they go, Ed, and he goes, yeah, and he keeps doing that a few times. I mean, if he had really, I feel like in my heart, the Eddie that I know, if he had really not wanted to been bothered, he just would have hung up and he would have never answered it again. And he kept answering it over and over and over.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They talked to him about his. That was pretty sad, But I mean, Eddie said, how older do you want to live than 90 years old?
Yeah.
But there were just certain parts of the interview that kind of staged. There was Eddie was giving out more information than I think he would have.
Probably. Well, I think that before these phone calls are made, there's an itinerary that they actually go over with the artist, and they say, well, we're going to talk about this, and it's not as impromptu as you think.
Well, that's why I'm saying. That's why I think it was kind of staged,
Yeah, but most interviews are, even if they say they're like off the cuff, they're not. Like they called Eddie way before they went on the air and said, we're going to call you while you're on the air and have an interview with you and we're going to make it look like we're just catching you off guard and calling you out of the blue. And that's how that happens.
Well, that's exactly, They make it seem like they just look his number up in the phone book and just give him a call,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I disagree about this. I'll tell you. Let me tell you what I think about all this. I think I don't think they were staged. I think they actually did call him up, and I think he actually just did talk to them, because I do know that he does like to talk to people. He does. I don't know if I know you've had your what do you call it? Conversations with him yourself, Dave.
Yeah.
But I know somebody else who knew him all through the 80s, all through the 90s. It's like rock radio, 80s, 90s, and today.
Right.
I've known a dude, and he said he'll just have conversations with him and just talk to him. And next thing you know, people are like saying, dude, you guys are walking off that way. Come back. Like Eddie, I know he likes to talk to people. He really enjoys communicating, even though you really don't see a lot of it. Until that Smithsonian thing, a few weeks ago or whatever, a lot of that you really don't see outside of just being around him or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as those two dorks, and I'm not being disrespectful, that's actually what they're called. They're called the two dorks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
absolutely.
actually their handle.
Really is.
Yeah, yeah. I think they actually did call him up. I mean, the stuff could have, it could have been, what do you call it? Where they tell you ahead of time we're going to be calling you, whatever. But I really don't think that stuff was staged. I mean, I think he actually was just on the phone with them, just talking to them, just telling them stuff. They just got him at different times. Well, mainly it was all in the like 8 in the morning, our time.
Yeah, yeah.
Or whatever. Like he'd been up all night. He'd been up all night recording, writing, and they just happened to call up, and he just happens to answer the phone.
Well, I mean, there is a couple of times. There is a couple of times in the interview where he does curse, and he doesn't mean to. And they say, "Well, hold on, we're recording this," and he goes, "Oop, I'm sorry." He does say that a couple of times in the interview.
Yeah. Because some of that stuff wasn't actually on the air. They record it ahead of time, and then they play it on the air. Or actually, a lot of that stuff, all that stuff, well, all of it really, was all from their website.
Yeah.
I remember when they did that. I was telling you this the other day too, Hef. I remember when all that stuff actually happened. I remember hearing it from the site or from their site or whatever, and because I told you about that one time where they call him up and they say, where are you gonna be tonight?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be in Walnut Creek? They're saying to him, and he's like, Walnut Creek, where's that? And because at the time, Sammy, I told you this because I live in Walnut Creek, and I know exactly where they were talking about. It's called the Lesher. Is it the Lesher Theater?
Something. Yeah.
Sammy was doing a benefit show for ARF, which is it's an animal rescue here, and Sammy was doing a benefit show for that. I believe that's what the show was. Anyway, word that got out that Sammy was playing that show, and there was a rumor it was either on the links or somewhere. It would have been the links. I mean, that's where all this stuff gets started, right? It would have been on there where that Sammy was playing, and then there was rumors that Eddie and Alex were going to be there, and they're going to announce a reunion or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was before all that, right? This is before.
Before the feud. Yeah.
Well, before the reunion.
Right.
This was actually before that reunion actually happened.
Yeah. I remember it. And Eddie was like, "Well, I don't know anything about it. Where are you going to be tonight?" "Oh, I'm going to be in my living room," or whatever he says. By the way, let me interrupt you for a second. Devin is online, and he wants to know how to get on this thing.
Newsflash. Does he have a Google Plus?
I'm going to text him right now.
If he needs to make a Google Plus account, and then he needs to add me or tell me his username, and I can add him in. And he can either be on video or audio, or if he wants to mime, I don't know. Either way, this has been recorded, so anybody can just watch this right now. So
yeah,
I'm watching it.
Dude, Hef, you don't even know, man. Dave and I and some other characters, we did like an 8-hour hangout one time.
It was 8 hours. Oh, he does have Google Plus. Okay, so
we did an 8-hour version of this one day with a guy from, where was the guy from? Australia?
Yeah, it's Australia.
Well, the guy from Australia was talking to us for 8 hours about Van Halen. And
Sweet.
it was insane. And then later on in the night, other people jumped on, and it was crazy. Although YouTube didn't save 8 hours, it saved like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So there's a 6-hour version of that video online. I can send it to you.
Sweet.
And it's like this, but us with an Aussie, and then like some other weirdos jumping in and out, and it was crazy.
Oh, good to know we're not the only ones.
Oh yeah, we're all crazy, man. Yeah, there's a singer. There's a singer here
Insane.
in Oakland. There's a singer here in Oakland who she has a song. She's kind of a weirdo, and she has a song called "Everybody." What is it? Everybody is crazy except me. Something like that.
Makes sense.
It's a song, and she's like an old lady, and she gets up on stage and sings. She's like, "Everybody is crazy except me," you know, and naturally she's the one that's insane, you know.
It always is that way. It's always that way.
He's nuts.
Hey, have you guys ever seen that video on YouTube? It was like in '98 when Van Halen 3 come out, and him and his mom go backstage and get to meet Van Halen. You know, his
You
mom.
mean a kid? That was an MTV show where they had people. It wasn't just Van Halen. It was Van Halen and then some other people and some other band.
Yeah.
And then they met them. Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
Hey, John.
Oh yeah. And Eddie let the guy play his guitar. Remember that? Eddie let the guy play his Wolfgang.
Yeah,
And the guy didn't the guy get up on stage with them that night and sing Panama?
Yeah, artist Panama. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. So Devin's on?
Yeah, it's his name, Devin Hull. Just invite
All right,
him, or do what you gotta do.
He was actually playing a Wolfie, kind of like the one you got, Johnny. The tobacco burst.
The taco
yeah.
burst.
Yeah.
I like them taco bursts.
I'm kind of getting hungry for a taco, man.
I got steak right here if you want. Yummy steak.
I don't see it. I just see your profile picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. You only see my profile picture?
Yeah.
That's weird.
You should. 50.
You should be able to see me.
You show me that steak, I'm gonna start eating my phone.
Yeah, it was a good piece of steak.
What kind of steak is it?
I gotta try to find him. Hang on. I'm gonna try to track him down.
T-bone.
Sweet. I used to be a butcher.
It was a T-bone and I had white rice with it.
Awesome. I used to cut meat for a living.
No kidding.
Yep.
Kill anyone?
Say again?
I said, have you killed anyone, chopped anyone up?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not a cannibal.
Good. Well, I didn't say you had to eat them. I just asked if you chopped anyone up.
No. I don't even own a gun.
Oh, I do.
I'm scared of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't bring it up. How are we doing there, John?
Did you just hear me say shit?
Yes, I did.
Damn it. I didn't want to swear in here, damn it.
I don't want to swear or nothing. Yeah.
My microphone fell out of my... I was going to say pants. I meant stand.
It's very funny. This is turning into a comedy.
I got to find him. You sure that's his name?
What he said. It's just his name, Devin Hull.
Let me see. I have to add him on my...
How you doing?
You said Kevin?
No, Devin.
D is in dog.
Devin Hull.
Did you say Heaven Dull? He won't see this. Don't worry. Bulldog Art and Sign. There's like a billion Devin Halls on here. A billion of them. Is that his real name? Is that made up?
I don't know.
People always ask me, is Johnny Bean a made up name? Is that my real name? You know, and it's not my real name.
He says he's there. He says
my real name is
he's on Google Plus right now. Should I have him text you or something?
I see him. I see him.
Hey,
I have to add him first. I see him.
Johnny, I found your real Facebook account. It's like, what's your name? John Smith?
Bill Smith.
Bill
What?
Smith, the ex-goalie from the New York Islanders?
I meant John Smith.
I knew it was something else, and I said, man, that picture, that looks like Johnny Bean. What is the deal?
All right, I added him. Let me see. Let me see if I can invite him. Oh crap!
Oh no!
Why? I added him to my thing. Unless he has like different. Did he make a new one?
Hey,
Not coming up.
I'm the only like live face I see on here. I got to see some live.
I
faces.
can't understand that because I can see you and I see myself. I just don't see Johnny.
Yeah, I turned my camera off. You can't see me right now.
See Johnny. I see a guy playing bass or a guitar or some sort.
Looks like a Telecaster.
Yeah.
It's a hammer.
Whatever.
Yeah. Weird looking guitar.
It's an Andy Summers Phantom.
Oh, by the way, Johnny, did I tell you that Larry Mitchell's doing a record with Stuart Copeland right now?
No way.
Yeah. Yep.
Dang. Where? At Stewart's house?
I'm not sure where they are, but they're doing an album right now.
Oh man.
Hey, are you guys Rush fans?
Yeah, I like Rush.
Because apparently nobody in the South really cares for Rush, and I'm the only Rush nerd.
You know, south of the Manson Nixon line, you know.
Man.
Did you say Bush?
I like Bush.
I thought he was a good president.
That's not the Bush I'm talking about.
Oh.
Okay, I added him. I can't.
What should I tell him to do?
Okay, it says that he added me. We're in the same circles. The problem is. Wait, hang on. Add names. Circles. Let me see. Problem is I did add him.
Well, don't you have to call him?
Yeah.
No, I don't have to call him.
Oh.
I just have to add him, and he gets the notification.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like when you add him.
Devin. There's like a billion Devins. Problem is I don't see him. When I send the... No.
What's like his profile? What's the picture?
It's a picture of him with a beard.
I know, but I mean, with a bunch of different ones, I mean, you wouldn't be able to, you know, because that's why I said mine was a VH logo with
I don't know. Hef, he kind of looks like you with glasses.
Oh.
Yeah, I see him. I mean, I see his... I have him in there.
Okay, he said he got the notification that you added him. Now what does he do?
And he added me.
Yeah.
We're
now
in each other's circles. The problem is, hang on. Oh man, I can't do that.
If he looks like me, he's a pretty good looking dude.
Oh, I got the green screen again.
Well, if he's good looking, I like to think he looks like me.
That's cool.
I ain't opening my mouth.
I'm trying to figure this out. Hang on.
Hey, does Cabo Tequila did a bottle in there? It's like about 10 years old.
Do you hear that? That's
Is that Howie?
Yeah.
Do you guys know that or not?
I have no idea.
What, about Cabo Wabo?
My dog's ears just went up.
Howie, what are you doing?
Does Cabo age good?
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does.
That stuff's got to be enough to tranquilize a herd of elephants then.
Well, hey, I'll tell you, my brother-in-law and I, we drank a whole bottle on my birthday one night. And the next day, I felt bad, but I didn't feel that bad, you know? But I'll tell you, I was seeing double, though, because it was funny, because my wife, my brother-in-law, we drank the whole bottle. We're playing video games on the computer, Star Wars, you know, Battlefront.
No, I'm not a gamer.
We're playing that. My wife comes walking in the room, and then, like, a minute later, she comes walking in again. Like, I was seeing double, like, total, like, it was insane. It's like, there she is, but then, you know, here comes another one.
Double and slow motion.
It was insane.
Hey, Johnny, what's your wife's name? I just like to know.
What should I say? Oh, no, it's Ruth.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That was my grandmother's name.
Wife.
And yeah, and she's not my grandma. She's not 80 years old. That's the thing.
No, but seriously, that was my grandmother's name, Ruth.
Yeah, that was everybody's grandma's name. Because that's an old name you never hear anymore. Nobody has that, except actually, like, in England now. There's actually, you know, some, like, hot. Did I just say that? There's, like, you know, it's being used now again as a new name. So you see, like, a lot of, like, hot chicks now in other countries with that name now, and they're not, like, you don't think about someone's grandma when you think about that now. You
know? Are you working on getting Devin in?
I'm trying. I have him added. I might actually. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the only way I can do this. I unfriended him. Don't tell him this. I have to make a new circle and have him only in the circle. Let me see. I'll call it.
I'm talking to.
Well, wait a second. Why don't we hang up from you and you call him and then we get back in it like we always do?
Oh, I don't know. All right, let me try this. I added him. He has his own circle. Howie, what are you doing, man? He just walked over my. Are you okay, kid?
Hey, Johnny, it sounds like you're at a gig, man.
Howie's rolling around. He's mad. He's getting mad.
It's getting close to the time you're supposed to walk him, isn't it?
Probably.
All right, let me see. I gave him his own circle. Which I don't. I don't see him.
Hey, here's Miley. Hey, you guys see her?
I don't see anybody.
I see her.
Oh, look at that.
That's Miley.
That's your what?
That's Miley.
Hi.
She's a Yorkie.
Very cool. I can't pick my dog up. She's a 100-pound lab.
Awesome.
Molly. Molly. Molly.
Yeah, I might have to restart. That's the problem I'm thinking, because since I just added him, I don't know if he doesn't come up in my list. So I might have to stop this and start a new one
Okay, let's do that.
real quick. Okay.
But
All right.
do we talk about the same stuff again? Do I have to get that guitar again and do all that crap?
No, we can talk about other stuff.
Okay, very
We
good.
can talk about other stuff. And I can't even see myself. Here I am. Hey, so if anybody even watched, this far through, I'm sorry. But so hey,
There
great
you are.
great to talk to you guys. And we're gonna start another hangout with Devin Hall. He's gonna be another guest in another thing, and we're gonna talk about, I don't know, cats. So
Hey.
see you guys later. Even though I'll see you in like a few seconds.
Yep, you got it.
Rock on, bye.
Bye.